Hi, this is Miss Huball. I'm coming to you today with some help for your DGP. This video and PowerPoint covers Day 2, parts of the sentence. Now, just so you know, I'm going to have 2 videos for Day 2, parts of the sentence. The video you're about to watch is Part 1. It's going to cover subjects and predicates and prepositional phrases. Part 2 of the video will cover all of the other parts of the sentence. So if you're watching this, you're starting with subject and predicate pairs, and then we're moving into prepositional phrases. All right, so let's get started. When we do parts of the sentence, we're thinking of the parts of the sentence as figuring out what jobs the words are doing. Okay, so all of the words in the sentence, particularly nouns and verbs, always remain nouns and verbs. But there are other jobs in the sentence that they perform. A noun can perform several jobs. It can be the subject, it can be the object of the preposition, it can be the direct object or the indirect object. Verbs also have multiple jobs that they can do. Verbs can be simple predicates, or they can be gerunds, participles, or infinitives. So, in the parts of a sentence, we're taking what we already know about the part of speech, and we're trying to figure out what job that noun or verb does in the sentence. Okay? Think of it the same way as a person. All right? Say there's a person named Jane. Jane is Jane, always. But at the same time, Jane could also be a doctor, a wife, a daughter, or a sister. Those different roles she plays are similar to the parts of the sentence doing, the parts of speech doing their roles as the part of the sentence. So the first one I'd like to go over with you is the subject-predicate pairs. Now, this is the most important part of sorting out all of the grammar that you're going to encounter. Finding subject-predicate pairs. So, subject is always going to be a noun. A predicate is always going to be a verb. Okay? So, subject-predicate pairs are nouns and verbs that work together. The subject and the predicate are the jobs that the nouns and the verbs do in the sentence. Okay? So, to find a simple predicate, you must first find a verb, and it's best to always start with the verb. Okay? Now, in order for a verb to qualify as doing the job of a simple predicate, it has to be paired up with a noun that's performing the action of the verb. All right, let me say that again. In order for a simple predicate to in order for a verb to qualify as a simple predicate, it has to go together to partner with a noun that is performing the action of the verb. That noun will be the subject, that verb will be the predicate. So here we go. We'll find a verb, and then we'll ask ourselves, who or what is performing the action of the verb? If there is a noun that's working along with the verb in that way, then the verb is the simple predicate, and the noun is the simple subject. If not, then the verb's doing something else. It's doing some other job in that sentence, and it's not a simple predicate. So it works the same way with a simple subject. First you find a verb, and you ask yourself who or what is performing the action of the verb. The noun which answers that question is the simple subject of the verb. And so in that way we can find subject-predicate pairs. Let's do an example. All right, take a look at this sentence. Barbara jumps high as the sky, but her feet never land on the ground. Now, if this were a DGP sentence, on day 1, on Monday, you would have identified nouns and verbs. You would have recognized the fact that Barbara is a noun, that jumps is a verb, that feet is a noun, and that land is a verb. Okay? So, if I tell you that this sentence has 2 subject-predicate pairs, it makes your job a little easier. We're going to go to the first verb, and we're going to say jumps is a verb. Could it also be a simple predicate? Well, it will be a simple predicate if we can find a noun that performs the action of the verb. So who or what is doing the jumping? We find that Barbara is doing the jumping. So Barbara is our simple subject, and jumps is our simple predicate. All right, so the second verb in the sentence is land. All right, now we'll ask ourselves, who or what is doing the landing? And the answer to that is the feet, land. So land is a simple predicate, and feet is the simple subject. Now remember, in order for a verb to be a simple predicate, it has to match up with a noun that is the simple subject. Sometimes they're right next to each other, as they are here, and sometimes they might be a few words apart, as they are here. It doesn't matter. Still, one is the simple subject and one is the simple predicate. So we'll mark it this way. Barbara will be marked as the simple subject, jumps as the simple predicate, feet as the simple subject, land as the simple predicate. All right, let's look at another example. In this one, we've got 4 verbs marked, but still we have 2 subject-predicate pairs. All right? Now, in this situation, will is a helping verb and be is the main verb. We've just got them both marked verbs, and that's the way we're going to do it. Now, these verbs will be working together. These 2 verbs will have 1 simple subject together. Same thing over here. Could is a helping verb. Exceed is a main verb. So they will be working together. They won't each have a simple subject, but together they will have a simple subject. All right, so let's check it out. Will be. Who or what will be? The answer to that is December. So December is going to be the simple subject of will be. We'll mark it like this. Simple subject, simple predicate. Both of them are simple predicates, but they're working together with 1 simple subject. All right, let's check out this one. Could exceed is the verb. If it's going to be a simple predicate, it will be matched up with a noun that serves as its simple subject. So let's see if that situation exists here. Could exceed. Who or what could exceed? Well, the accumulation could exceed 2 inches. So accumulation performs the action of the verb, and so accumulation is the subject of the verb. All right? Now, you can pause this right now and try to find the subject and the predicate in the sentence that you're dealing with, and then we'll move on to prepositional phrases. Okay, on Monday, on day 1 of DGP, you would have located all of the prepositions and all of the nouns in the sentence, so they would be marked. And that's real handy in finding prepositional phrases. So prepositions, as we talked about before, are those things that the bunny can do to the log. Over, under, to, from, through, between, by. All these things, all these places a bunny could be in juxtaposition to a log. So, when we find a prepositional phrase, we almost always begin with a preposition. And the prepositional phrase will end with the first noun or pronoun that follows it. And that noun is doing the noun job of the object of the preposition. Now, if a noun is already the simple subject, or the direct object, or the indirect object, it cannot also be the object of the preposition. So each noun will do one noun job. It will not double dip as other things. So that kind of makes finding things in a sentence easier. All right, let's take a look at our sentence again. Barbara jumps high as the sky, but her feet never land on the ground. Our preposition here that we marked on Monday is as. So in order to find the prepositional phrase, you're going to start at the preposition and go to the first noun you see. Okay? So as the sky is your prepositional phrase. The noun is the object of the preposition. We mark that as the OP. Once again, on is a preposition. In order to determine where the prepositional phrase is, we're going to start with on and go to the first noun that we find, which is ground. So on the ground is the prepositional phrase, and ground, the noun, we call the object of the preposition. right? Now you'll notice that each of these have 3 words. There is no set number of words that can go in a prepositional phrase. It could be 2 words, just the preposition and the noun. It could be 10 words, okay, with a bunch of adjectives in there and adverbs and articles and other things. But the way you find it is you start with the preposition and you go to the first noun you see. All right, that's it for this video. If you need help with other parts of the sentence, go to part 2 of this video. Thank you.